Welcome to Pat's Topic of the Month for the month of May. I'm your host, Paul James, and I'm once again joined by Jay Parnas, Damo Camilleri. And the topic of the month this time is timely because E3 is on the horizon.
Just around the corner.
Yeah. We're talking about our favourite E3 memories.
Of which there is
many.
An indeterminate amount of numbers.
Well, maybe we'll say E3 memories full stop, because they'll be good and bad, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, oh, God. If we're going to start that way, let's talk about the Wii Heart Monitor. Let's don't.
That was a thing that happened.
Boom! That was... My body wasn't ready, put it that way.
The internet found it funny. Boom! Nintendo never spoke of it again.
Yeah, pretty much. Moving on to one of my favourite memories of E3.
What are you doing?
I think it would have been about 5 or 6 years ago. Was you missing the announcement of Final Fantasy because your internet dropped out?
It wasn't the announcement of it.
The announcement of Versus.
It was a new trailer, and I knew it was going to be there, and I was ecstatic, and the internet dropped out just in time.
I think you actually ran out of downloads.
That was still when it was referred to as Versus 13.
Yeah, but you missed the announcement of Versus 13. It was announced that year. Like 13 was already announced, but Versus 13 was announced, and you saw I think it was like the live updates feed, and you melted down.
That sound about right.
Yeah, it was.
That's a good memory.
And then we played Motorstorm in a sleep deprived, almost drunken state.
Motorstorm demo. Yeah.
Many moons ago.
That might have been even the first E3 that I know you've not been there for all of them, but certainly probably the first E3 that you and I had done together. Typically Jay would come over to my place and we'd sit down and we'd watch as many conferences.
He was I think it was either first or second.
Yeah. It might have been the very first because that was back when I was having internet problems with it, and after that experience, I think I learnt that I need to make sure I bank all my data.
Well, what year
was something like that never happens again?
What year was Versus 13 announced? Was 2007 or 8?
2006.
Oh, okay.
No, 2006 or 7. Might have been 7.
Okay.
But
still not out.
Yeah.
And
September 30, people.
And if the games draft is writing on it, I hope it never comes out.
Go back to last episode.
Yeah, check out last week.
So
I'm winning.
Yeah, that was a big E3 though. One that kind of sticks out, and just since we're on the Final Fantasy,
pretty sure Assassin's Creed 2 was there that year.
Not that year, no, because Assassin's Creed 2 came out in 2009.
Well, no, because I remember us watching a video and it dropping out during that, and then directly after it was Final Fantasy.
I think we might be mixing some conferences up then.
Maybe, I don't know.
But
you've had some internet troubles over the years.
We've had some internet troubles over the years. We've also had a better part of a decade of E3s.
Well, yeah.
Viewed together.
Yeah, that's true.
So things start to blend into one. So maybe we'll try to avoid matching years.
Yeah, how about we? Yeah,
we'll get things messed up there.
That's it.
One that sticks out for me is not one that I actually saw on the screen live, but was the Twilight Princess Zelda announcement.
Oh, the one
jump on YouTube and have a look at that. I'm not going to be putting it down here because you should just go and experience
that the
it with its full audio and all that sort of thing.
Is that the original, is it the pre-Wind Waker one where they showed the actual...
No, this is the actual Twilight Princess one. So after Wind Waker had been released, and this is the next thing for Zelda, and the crowd lost its mind. Miyamoto was there with a sword, and...
Oh, yes.
It was the kind of probably one of the first times there was really that. And one more thing before we go, sort of idea,
which is now basically
the beginning and end of every conference.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that probably needs to go away long enough so that people stop expecting it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't want it to be a thing because now it's like
an encore.
Okay, cool. Now what have you left for the end?
It's like an encore.
It's. And as we know, sometimes encores can be disappointing. It can actually tarnish the rest of the show.
Yeah. So I mean, Zelda was my biggest one. Damo, is there something sticks out at you in particular?
Kevin Butler.
Yes.
Kevin Butler made my E3 experience because I'd never seen anything really about E3. Like, not even because back in my times,
Your mother.
We're talking...
Back in my day.
2005 and shit. My internet speed wasn't good enough to jump on YouTube and watch all these trailers, and there was no way I was getting up at that early during high school.
Yeah, true.
And I still didn't have enough data, for a very long time.
Go stream it live.
And you like just showed me. It's like you have to watch this. This is Kevin Butler.
You would have been going, who the hell's that?
Fucking no idea.
He was never in Australia's like promotion for PlayStation. It was a big American thing because Xbox was trouncing PlayStation over there.
You know, he just walks on stage and he owns it like a casual, like, poo-poo. I have the world's greatest, just energy flowing right now, and he just like.
You were this close to saying schlong.
I was gonna say he just waltzed out like Vince McMahon, like just like
swinging member.
Yeah. He was just gonna, and he made fun of Connect, like he just brought it back to the fans in such a good way that it was beautiful to watch. And then the follow-up commercials that came after that.
He did some awesome ones with like Resistance and Uncharted 2 and and all those.
The Grand Theft Auto, the Gran Turismo one, where he's just like, and when they told me to give back the cars, he just drives off, and then in the bottom it's like, this was performed by Kevin Butler, so he actually did his own stunts, like.
And then just because he was amazing, his ads were fantastic. Cast our minds forward, then a few years after he stopped doing these promotions for PlayStation, he was in I think it was like a Goodyear tires thing in America, and there was a Wii in the background, and Sony just killed off any Kevin Butler business going forward because he was messing around with a Wii in another ad. And that was it. The end of Kevin Butler.
Sad. But I mean, other highlights, like gaming highlights. I mean, Battlefront 3 is my biggest one because I watched that live.
The reveal of
I watched that live. Like I'm like, this is what I want to see. I'm probably not going to see it, and then and I was just like, like it was just perfect
for me. I had that with the original Sunset Overdrive trailer. I remember we were all watching it in your folks' place. We were all there, and I was like immediately attached to that game. I'm like, that game will be the best game.
See, I perked up straight away because I saw Insomniac's name on it. Like, I'm a big sucker for their games. But then,
when was it? Was it Microsoft?
Well, Xbox, back then I was still a little. I probably managed to kick.
No, I think you'd kick that by then.
Fanboyish sort of.
No, actually, I
definitely had a 360.
I think you knew about that. I think you had.
There might have been leaks and rumours or something, but
that was like originally with like the cloud thing, wasn't it? Like, and it was just other players roaming around in that world and stuff. Yeah,
that trailer was fantastic. Like, I saw Insomniac, I was going, I'm sold straight away, and then it was kind of this weird zombie sort of style.
And then, no, because that first one, like, it was kind of interesting. But then there was the following year, where it had the cover shooter. Like cover mechanics, and like runs past them with the loser sign, and like that follow-up Sunset Overdrive trailer. I mean, for me, that's one of my favourite games just ever, because it's just amazing for me.
Like, it's a shame we can't talk predictions right now, because I want to ask that one, but we'll deal with that later.
If there's going to be Sunset Overdrive?
Yeah, we'll deal with that later on. We'll save it for the next episode.
Yeah, okay. In terms of like those two Sunset Overdrive trailers, like made E3 for me that year. What else?
While you're giving that some thought, and I am actually
Smash Brothers, I guess.
Back to
there was always some good Smash.
There's always some good Smash stuff.
Mega Man,
from character reveals to game reveals.
When they revealed Mega Man, there was some.
That was cool.
Another one of these hot under the collar sort of things.
Mate.
Just to very briefly go back to, because I was kind of talking about some of the fanboy stupidity, and back when I was really quite stupid about this whole thing. It goes back to Final Fantasy again. When we knew that 13 was coming for the PS3, it was meant to be exclusive for PS3, and then right at the end of a Xbox conference, I think it was 2006.
They said, by the way,
they put on, like I saw Yoshi Wada from Square Enix coming out, and I'm going, okay, like they've had Blue Dragon, they've had a few of those.
Blue Dragon was
like, no worries, okay, it'll just be another one a bit like that, Last Remnant, something like that.
So.
And then they put on something for, I think it was like a Last Remnant or something like that, and then he walks off stage, Microsoft starts to talk again, and he just comes walking out, taps him on the shoulder and goes, I've got one more thing, and puts on a trailer for Final Fantasy 13, and it's now coming to 360.
On 13 discs.
It would have been about 4 a.m. in the morning, I was watching it live, you weren't there for that.
No, I don't think I was.
We started watching them together.
Yeah.
I punched the desk, waking mum and dad in the next room in the process, stormed out of the room, didn't watch the rest of the conference. I was curious because I wanted to see what was going on in the industry. But when I saw Final Fantasy 13 was coming,
there was a bit of an upset for all of us, though.
The thing is, it was really dumb. Like it is, and if you're a fanboy, you're a fool because really,
all you're doing is denying good games, and more good games means better games.
The only games that should be exclusive to a console, first party things. If it's third party, get on everything so that everyone can enjoy the game, whether it ends up being good, bad, or otherwise.
Agreed.
13 sucked. In the end, it hurt me. It sucked.
Which did you hurt more, your hand on the desk or playing the game?
Playing the game because I endured it for about 60 hours.
Yeah.
The pain passed after about 10, 15 minutes.
It was like punching a desk for 60 hours.
For 60 straight hours.
Yeah, I heard that game got good after 25 hours.
Yeah, something like that. Just wait for it.
Oh, what a shit game.
And I remember my stupid days, early days reviewing, I gave that game a 9 out of 10.
You would have.
That was just dumb.
Bad times.
I've learned. I've grown up.
Because you're like talking about like a bit of a fanboyish thing. I mean, when the PS4 and Xbox One were getting announced, and Xbox One like had announced that that whole like new change of system thing, like the DRM and all that, and everybody erupted with anger and shit like that, and I got
that at E3.
They did. That was
yeah. And I mean, I just remember how quiet that crowd went.
No one was happy.
And exactly. And Sony just rubbed salt in the wounds, like very quickly. Like instantly made a video. Yeah. How do you trade games? Like
they just gave the game.
I've still got a downloaded version of that video off YouTube on my PS3 that I just watch every now and then for a bit of a chuckle.
Yeah, but that was
games on PS4.
But that was the year of like misinformation. Like none of the people on that E3 stage knew what the fuck.
No, that was what's his name? Not Phil Spencer. It
was the dude. Yeah, but none of them. They were all
Phil somebody who was a moron.
But they were all. That was the thing. They were all
Zanga or whatever.
He went to Zynga afterwards.
But none of them knew what they were talking about. None of the people on that stage actually were gamers. None of them actually knew what they were talking about.
It was guys.
Yeah, they were businessmen and women, I think, as well. And they just had no idea.
Oh, business
women. Yeah.
That was just like a rough. That was a rough time to watch. Like because everyone was copping flack at the end, and I was like,
but the way
we don't know what it is yet. Like this was all very early talk.
That's the thing. It wasn't early talk. It was that console was out later that year.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't know how to express it to the public, and the public was just like, no, piss off. We don't want it. And same with the Kinect. Yeah. That's what happened to the Kinect. Kinect was supposed to be bundled in. They had games being developed that were included, like factoring in that their entire player base was going to have a Kinect, and then it didn't. And there are games with features that just don't work for people.
And it was just such a pissing war between the two. I was just like,
I'm glad that's over to an extent.
Oh yeah, I don't even know that. Like it was certainly a pissing war, but it wasn't kind of your fanboy sort of stuff. Like Microsoft gave them an opening. And look,
they did.
I don't know what it was because there was talk prior to the E3 that year that Sony was going to be doing a similar thing.
Yes, I remember that.
No one ever it was never confirmed, but there was talk that Sony was going to go down the same path after Microsoft revealed it. But the talk is that they saw just
the
immediately,
reaction
and they had their conference later that same day.
Yeah,
so they probably had about 6 hours potentially.
I don't even know if it was that long.
Well, Microsoft does theirs like 10 a.m. and then Sony's in the afternoon, early evening. So they probably had 6, maybe even 8 hours actually. But
maybe.
They just pulled the.
But they were if that was their plan, they saw the feedback, saw that gamers just exploded, and there was forums, Reddit, N4G, NeoGAF, all of them. They just exploded with hate.
It was just.
But even the GIFs,
I've never seen.
It was like there was a GIF of like a dog sitting on a train watching like another dog run, and it just like hits the pole. Right, and it was like PS4, like just sitting there, and then like the
running.
Yeah.
Or that animated cartoon where it's just like PlayStation is like the girl that just walks up to the dude and just like puts the finger to their face, just rubs it in the face. Have you seen that one? Yeah. Like one frame of it is animated of just middle finger just rubbing on
the way they dealt with that whole conflict, like Sony when they then had their chance to respond. You know how, and they didn't openly say, how Microsoft said this, but. We've been hearing.
This is how we do.
You're hearing this.
Yeah.
We aren't going to prevent you from trading games. We're not going to force you to be digital only. We're not going to do this. Here's how
The
you
words
trade your
they
games.
used
They
were
just shut down
very
everything.
well
And
selected.
then they went and announced a price that was cheaper.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it was a higher end
But it
machine.
was $100 cheaper because the Xbox had the Kinect.
Yeah.
Because you look at the price of when the Xbox One came out without a Kinect, same price.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a rough year for me in watching E3. That's
And
my
then
low point of E3.
Well, see, for
And then
me,
there's
the
Nintendo
year
on the side
after.
doing directs that
No one watched.
direct that year.
Yeah. Oh. But then the year after, where Microsoft hit back, like that was, I think that was the year of Sunset Overdrive, the year that followed that, where it was just games for like an hour and a half or
They
whatever it
learned
was.
their lesson.
Yeah.
It was literally just like games.
And I actually think But the Sony conference set a tone for the E3s to follow, like conferences to follow.
Yeah.
But that also
the suits with Microsoft.
But that year was also, it was the year of the all in one. It was like the year of
It'll be your
TV and
entertainment
movies
box.
and
Oh yeah, I remember that.
that's why that was so bad.
That is,
because
because
there was no
a
talk of
product.
games.
It wasn't a product for the gamers. It was a product for the consumers.
Yeah.
Like it was a product for that guy who comes to E3 to check out new tech and was sitting there going,
E3 is a tech
I'm gonna
show.
I'm gonna put that in my store
Basket.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? Put that egg in my basket.
But that's the thing. E3 is a tech show.
Yeah.
You've got your PAX, you've got your Comic-Con for your consumers. E3 is a tech show. There's no CES anymore. There's none of that sort of shit. It is a tech show.
Yeah.
But look, I think they've since learned though.
Oh, of course.
Games is the way to go. And
absolutely.
And it's been good because it's been one of those, rising tide lifts all boats sort of scenarios. That Microsoft lifted their game off the back of the PlayStation 1. PlayStation has continued that games approach. Nintendo hopefully will learn. But the thing is, they have delivered.
Their directs.
They're just on a
they're on their own
ship
shit.
had sailed. To continue with boats, the ship had sailed with the Wii U though. It was done.
Yeah,
hopefully that changes with.
They are running on their own schedule, but I mean, you look at even last year's E3 with the Muppets. We were talking about that before. Amazing. That was actually fun to watch.
Yeah,
I don't know whether it was a great
show.
E3 show, but it was good to watch. It was fun to watch. The little developer stuff, it was good.
Kids, can we just
stop again? I think that's done though.
Yeah, that was
these are all
every fucking year. Kids, I don't know if you guys watched it. Like, if you watch E3 and you saw the fucking kid, it was like, this is so bad. This is such bad acting. This is like terrible gameplay. The game's not running right as well. They don't know how to improv. Everything was bad about it. They just kept going.
Who snuggles the bear? The tiger.
God, and the spellbook thing even.
For PlayStation. Yeah, no, that was a time. We're just bitching about E3.
Yeah,
that's not how this is meant to go.
No. We're talking about the low points, so that now we can just get back into this. Like, the anticipation is what gets me every year. Like, you're sitting there and it's like the screen goes dark, like the crowd goes instantly silent, and then boom, a trailer that you just didn't like. A title that you never thought you'd see, like
Recall.
the scale game.
Scalebound.
Bam! I was like, oh my god, freaking sweet. And I wasn't even watching that live. Like, my mate just made me like
I think you were there with us.
last year.
That was
Work commitments.
Wasn't that the same year?
You might have actually been there for it. I think.
That was the same year as Sunset, wasn't it?
Yeah. But anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
But
I think we decided not to go for
that moment though is kind of that. Like, the moment you're talking about there is something you weren't expecting is what excites people most about E3.
Yeah.
You walk in and, I mean, I think everyone last year was expecting that to be Fallout, but then they teased it beforehand. But then, people went into it going, oh, okay, well, we've seen our Fallout trailer, so we'll get it when we get it. And then they did 25 minutes of, just live demo. Gears 4 appeared to a live demo last year, not a trailer, live demo.
Yeah.
Which wasn't supposedly representative of the final game, but just something that you could actually see.
New trailer for that's really cool too. You should check that out. Wise choice of song.
Yeah, we'll put that over.
Right here.
Basically, yeah, but that's the thing.
That moment that G's people up for it.
Yeah, and we're also seeing the dying out of the whole Dance Central bullshit that no one ever wants to see.
Speak to Ubisoft about that because they're still trying.
Yeah,
Just Dance in there each year.
I'd take a
but
nap.
at the end of the day, the thing about it is, while they've learned when it comes to the entertainment side of things, and I'm going to use Ubisoft as an example because they're probably, maybe EA to an extent, they're the main culprit still. Just Dance, for all
15 minutes on
by
NFL.
Your core audience, it is hated. Just Dance still sells millions and millions of units each year, and that's their prime time opportunity to put it up on the big screen. Because you're not just got the gaming press.
It is a trade show. I just said that.
You've got big entertainment weeklies and all those sorts of mobs out there as well.
Yeah.
They see that stuff, and that they can get out to a larger demographic. The audience that's not going to be interested in Assassin's Creed or
I guess we have to
Far
take
Cry,
that
whatever
toll.
it might be. Yeah. So you win some, you lose some in that sense. So, and it is like EA is probably the one that frustrates at least the two of us. I can't speak as much for you, but it frustrates
I think it frustrates you
most
as well.
years because
FIFA, NFL.
Yeah, they take up a lot of time, but we've got to remember that's where those games make their money, so that they can do Mirror's Edge, so they and things like, and so they could get Dead Space off the ground.
That was a different EA than what we've got now. That was kind of wild. That was EA in the Wild West. They're just like, hey, we've got a new IP. Fucking put it out. Do it. Whatever.
There was a period where they did Brutal Legend, Mirror's Edge, Dead Space, all those things in the same sort of block of a couple of years, and it was awesome. But
they resurrected Brutal Legend. Activision put that on the shelf.
Yeah, but it is those Just Dances or FIFAs or those sorts of things that gets us the games we want. Battlefront's not one of those. The Battlefront's the exception because they can build off the Star Wars license. Yeah. But in the majority of cases, it's those games that helps fund the other stuff. So
I never really looked at it like that.
It is something that we kind of hate it.
It's a trade show,
but we've got to kind of suck it up to an extent.
Yeah,
and and typically because the time zones, for those of you not Australian, the time zones for us typically ends up being Ubisoft and EA in that kind of 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. sort of window.
I think I fell asleep.
Nap time,
They're usually the ones where we have a bit of a nap because, there'll be a few big announcements that we care about in here. Battlefront, for example.
Yeah, that's right. I fell asleep and I was in and out, and then Battlefront came on, and my eyes went like the coffee just kicked in for that last jolt of energy, and I was like, amazing. That's it, gone.
Or Ubisoft does a Division, or they do something there's that one big thing that you just go, okay, well, I think I'm going to, for us, Americans, you have the luxury of it's during the day for you.
And on TV.
We don't
have to worry about his internet dropping out.
This is when I'm clocking out, I'm having a nap, and if there's something amazing that happens, I'll watch the trailer when I wake up again. In time for Sony.
That's it.
Because Sony's 11 a.m.
Yeah, that's right.
Or thereabouts. I've recharged. I've got a few hours of sleep. Good. I'm back at it again.
Yeah.
All right, lads. Let's talk about some more high points. I think.
High points. Oh man,
every time Uncharted's on the stage.
Cool. Moving on. Damn it.
For announcement trailers,
there's been some big Nintendo ones over the years.
Some great,
big ones.
just amazing moments. Really, when it comes to that, isn't it? Again, I keep going back to Sunset Overdrive because I just remember watching that going, what a cool game. The way they talked about how, your system was always online so the cloud would learn, and you'd have just players in this open kind of world. It just looked so cool. And then the year after with a different trailer that was still I would put it on the Deadpool level of trailers.
Yeah, for sure.
Just broke the fourth wall in a brilliant way and just made you feel great. It was just I can dig this.
And that hero is me. What? It's not me? Oh. You! Yeah, that's
I don't know where we're going. I don't recall halfway.
That's alright.
Nintendo, though, have done some fantastic things there. From that Zelda conference, but they do things like, Mario Galaxy, or last year was one of the coolest things. It wasn't part of the conference. They did the Nintendo World Championships.
Yes, I was going to mention that. Super Mario
Maker for ages, and it was better than any E3 showcase you could ever do.
Because it just showed.
You saw people who were masters of Mario, sometimes crashing and burning along the way, but and it showed off every little facet of what that game could be.
Yeah,
what it could then be at launch.
And that was a thing because the year before they showed it, and the consensus I got was that could be really cool.
Yeah.
There was no that is really cool.
Yeah,
There was a lot of
we needed to see
that
that
could
proof.
be really cool, and that's the thing. And it was
that
proof.
proof. That
It
was
was
that proof.
absolutely for sure.
Oh, that was right.
Did something just strike you?
Ni no Kuni. When that came, like, Studio Ghibli game, like, lost it. Like, what a cool, like, idea and concept. Like, and that was before, like, they even, like, you know, released the special edition spellbook and things like that. It just looked, so they that's what I really love about E3. Like, it's not like they're making these trailers based on, like, you know, hey, this is what the game is going to be like, or whatever. Sometimes it's just like, hey man, this is what we've got so far, or something like that. Sometimes it's just like you get to see like a progression. You know what I mean? Like
there was a year for that. Going back to EA now, if you remember a conference a couple of years ago, they were all. This is our development process of Mass Effect Andromeda. We're not at that point where we can show you what the game looks like yet. But this is their development process. Same criterion with their kind of open world, whatever it
thing
is.
still
kind of
is.
just
Who
an
knows? I don't anymore.
Extreme sports thing. It's still not. We don't know anymore.
I mean, we might.
But there was
look at that.
There was that. There was Mass Effect. There was Mirror's Edge. There was Battlefront, and it's just all like we're getting in depth here. They clearly realised. EA realised we're not at a point where we can show these things off.
Yeah. Let's talk
properly.
about it.
People are going to lose their minds if we give them an hour of EA Sports and The Sims. But
The Sims. I forgot about The Sims.
If we're giving them something, and it was. And it was good though to see. It was good to see into the heads of BioWare or
everything's clicking.
DICE or whoever it was they've got. So
yeah, for sure.
You know, it wasn't the best year for EA.
Even their Need for Speed trailer looked amazing. I think that was last year that they put that out.
Yes.
And it was just, it looked great. It's even seeing some games companies like over the last couple of years, seeing how many titles Platinum Games is attached to, like 12 or something.
Yeah, they're just juggling a stupid number.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like they're all coming out. They're all doing okay.
And in recent years, and Platinum's, I mean, they're not quite in this category, but similar sort of idea. The rise of indies through E3.
Absolutely.
Axiom Verge for sure.
Axiom Verge was big.
That got like 10 seconds or something on a Sony thing, and then from there it exploded. People were like, what the hell was that?
Cuphead was an E3 announcement. Now it's not out yet, but Cuphead was an E3 announcement. They're like Sony's done heaps of those sorts of things. They showed things like Journey or whatever.
Even.
Yeah, like they've.
Broforce got some stage time,
and it's just an awesome trailer too. Like But like the indies are now starting to get a fair showing as well, and that's good because they're even harder to predict than the AAA titles. Naughty Dog comes along hypothetically this year, and you're gonna go, okay, they're announcing probably either Uncharted DLC, which I mean they said they're going to do, so it's either going to be that or it's going to be The Last of Us.
Yeah.
So you kind of go in with this at least a rough idea what's going on.
Think they're going to drop it.
No idea.
An educated estimation, like
you've got at least a ballpark.
Well, that's
idea.
the thing.
So
those
Santa
huge
Monica walks
unknowns.
up this year. It'll be God of War 4 because they've stuff's already come out that they're working on it. Indies, we just don't know.
Yeah.
So, but I suppose
like
you mentioned Rockstar. They could roll up with anything.
We'll talk about them in the preview. I've got a few ideas when it comes to them.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, they could totally just be like, no, flip the desk and show something complete. Like table tennis. Remember them, like the Rockstar table tennis game?
Yeah, and they got a fair old showing actually.
And it did,
sold really well.
But it looked amazing. Yeah. Like that game, because it was using the GTA 4 engine.
Yeah.
And it
that's cool.
But then on the flip side, and I'm sorry,
No.
But there's some things that like you get that Rockstar walking out and showing whatever it is. You get things that go the other way though. So Rockstar's also walked out and announced Agent, something that never ended up happening.
Yeah.
It still hasn't.
Yeah.
Ken Levine walked out on the PlayStation stage and said, "There's going to be a BioShock on the Vita." Gone.
Yeah.
So and there's a little like.
Shenmue Kickstarter.
Well, no, we know that happened. Now it's happened. Like these are things that got announced and then just died.
Yeah.
Levine said,
died.
It's out this year.
Yeah, sure. We'll see.
It's out this year. Believe.
We'll see.
We believe in you.
But like,
it'll just be an empty box. There'll be no disconnect.
That's the sort of thing. Like because it's this big event, and you go, okay, I'm going to say BioShock Vita's coming, and then it doesn't quite maybe get the buzz that you expected. And you go, well, if it's not getting the big bounce that I wanted from E3, and it just gets
Could be a bus
it just slowly
project.
gets put on the back burner until it just dies.
Yeah.
So
I
like
suppose.
sometimes that enthusiasm, if it doesn't quite pay off, and it's not to say that they've marketed it wrong, but if it just doesn't quite get the hit at the right time, that project dies. You never see it.
I mean, you could argue. Oh no, sorry.
Oh, no.
I will let you go.
No worries. The revolution, really, like.
As in the
When
Nintendo Revolution.
No. Like when Assassin's
Battlefield 4's Revolution.
Assassin's Creed came out.
Yes.
Like, I remember just losing my mind. Like, at this whole new system of a gameplay that, you could sit down, blend, you walked up, you stabbed the guy, like, you went through the crowd, and it was just like, that's what I really love about E3 too, is
Head button,
sometimes
arms
it's
button,
this
leg button.
new wave of things that we've never seen before, and it's like, this is a perfect time to flash them off, like go boom, like this is what we are doing.
And Assassin's Creed in particular did a fantastic job because it was just cinematic trailers. They didn't show anything else.
Yeah.
But they were just gorgeous looking trailers, and
speaking Mirror's Edge,
the first one, same idea.
Yeah.
So sometimes a good trailer can just do the job, and the game could end up being a steaming pile, which was the case in the result of the first Assassin's Creed.
It was okay for the time, but it was.
Well, it reviewed well because there was that bandwagon of hype off the back of some in the end, some fantastic trailers. And I raced out. I pre-ordered the best edition I could get of Assassin's Creed. I played it. It was
okay. Yeah, but I mean that set the stage for Assassin's Creed 2, which is still arguably the best in the series.
Yeah, I agree. But again, we didn't really see much of that in terms of its gameplay until very close to the game's launch. It got announced at E3 of 2009 with a CG trailer where Ezio's kind of going through Italy.
No, you're talking about number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
And
Well, I mean, to even continue back on number 1,
trailers.
There was scenes of you had I think it was a bow and arrow or a crossbow or something like that. Wasn't even in the game.
No.
Yep.
So
and there's the element of deception that comes in with these trailers as well. But that's the topic of trailers and how they just see it could be a whole other topic of the month.
Well, I mean, there was that Killzone trailer. Was that an E3 trailer?
That was an E3 trailer. The Killzone 2 one before the PS3 had even launched. They said this is in engine. This is what the game is going to look like.
Yeah.
And it was not even close in the end.
Oh, the Halo killer.
So yeah. Oh, not ignoring the quality of the game, the actual visuals. This is what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
It looked like a CG cutscene.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking of Wii Tennis when that came out. That nuked the world. That changed gaming forever.
Yeah, but don't forget Ravi drums also for Wii Music.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to.
All right, I guess we have to make a segue now. I was actually going to make one before in terms of what you were saying with games making a big splash and then getting big popularity about that. I think a great example of that of late, Killer Instinct.
Yep.
Because that came out of nowhere. It was like, an old rare property is going to be rejigged. And people were like, oh yeah, it'll be Killer Instinct or something retarded like that. And it was Killer Instinct. People were like, wow, you for real? And it looked amazing.
Rare wasn't even developing it.
Yeah, and it looked amazing, and it came out, and they had a really good structure for how the content was getting out there. Part of it was free. You could play some of it, you can download it, and even still free. I think they've now made the first season free, which is what they were announcing then. And it's they're up to season 3. I can't even think of a game that's been put in that season 4.
Yeah.
Destiny hasn't even got a season 3 yet.
Give it time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do not think that season 2 of Destiny was as good as the season 2 of Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
And that's and I don't even really like Killer Instinct all that much. But that's the thing.
Do love Combo Breaker though.
Well, I mean,
Combo Breaker.
Yeah, dude, I love the fact that there is a Battletoad in season 3. So
Oh yeah, man.
you can wear Banjo's backpack. And it's real dumb, and yes, I love it. But that's the thing. I think all of that came from the strength of its E3 trailer.
Yeah, and they leveraged a big IP and a prestigious studio. And it seems at this point that each of the big publishers has at least one of those big marquee studios that they can build an E3 around.
I would argue that
Nintendo's got EAD, for example.
Microsoft doesn't really.
I think...
Who would you say? 343?
No, I'd actually probably suggest it's... Even though they've not warranted it off the back of, probably a decade thereafter they got picked up by Microsoft. Rare is probably still that studio.
It was last year,
their history, and their pre-Microsoft history.
Yeah, Rare Replay.
If there's whispers before E3 that Rare's got something, internet just loses it.
Yeah, I
And
suppose.
we don't even know what it is. And in the end, last year was Sea of Thieves, and it looks fantastic.
It does.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that Microsoft has someone like Naughty Dog who can walk in and just steal the show. Which for me is great
Not
because
yet, but
which is great
They're
because
building.
they throw everything at it.
Yeah.
Lately, they've been throwing basically everything at it. I mean, you've got Scalebound, Crackdown. I mean, there was
Recall.
Sunset Overdrive. There was Quantum Break. There was
Recall.
Recall. There was Sea of Thieves.
and then you add to that they've got Gears
Killer
4 coming.
Instinct,
Microsoft
Gears
still has that
4.
one big, like each year they've still got that one big thing, whether it's Halo or Gears. They've got one a year that they can still build their conference around. And also, we've got to remember the third parties that come along too. So for years there was that exclusivity deal with
Destiny.
Now it's Destiny and PlayStation.
Call of Duty.
But Call of Duty and Xbox for years. Now PlayStation's also got Call of Duty as well. But
I think
for
last
years
year there was no Call of Duty.
Poor sods.
You could guarantee
No, it's pronounced COD.
Poor cunts. You could guarantee that a Microsoft conference would begin with Call of Duty and end with Halo or Gears.
Yeah.
And you bookended the conference with marquee titles.
How did they end last year's conference? Was it Sea of Thieves?
Microsoft.
Yeah.
Don't remember. No, I don't remember.
There you go.
All right.
But well, there's just a lot to take in with these conferences. And
Yeah.
The thing is, they're also getting busier. So
Yeah.
They are, yeah. There's a lot of... They're showing a lot of shit. Like,
Yeah.
they've got...
Favorite highlight?
oh, good. I was about to ask that. Pass. Come back to me.
Okay. Favorite art?
Look, I did love Sunset Overdrive, but... and the Mega Man reveal for Super Smash Brothers was amazing. I don't know, man. Like... It's real hard. That's a real... Well, because that's the thing, because, like, I have to remember, like, snippets. I mean, the Wii U announcement stuff was wild as fuck. Like...
It's still poorly announced because there was so many people that just thought it was a peripheral for the Wii. But
Well, yeah, I know. but even still, like I remember them. I remember them vividly. Where you had like people had like the controller on their hand, like throwing ninja stars at the screen and put it down with the golf. Like I remember it vividly because there was nothing like it.
their body was ready.
Yeah, mine wasn't. I was like, my brain was melting. I'm like, okay, they're doing something new for sure. I mean, obviously it's turned to dust in their hand, but you know, whatever. You get what you're given.
What was yours? You got something that sticks out?
Yeah, it would probably be the Assassin's Creed, like trailer when that got announced. Just it just looked like something so different from anything else I'd ever seen. Especially like, you know, when he fades into the monks and like, you know, or the priests, and they all walk out and he's just gone, and it was just like, what a cool concept to have in a game.
And
like,
we didn't know what it was
crowd
gonna be.
blending.
Oh, I think maybe the other M as well. Metroid Other M, right at the end of a Nintendo.
Before we
realized it was garbage. Yeah, I think that was that.
I'll give you that. That
real
was
hot.
cool.
That was real hot at the time.
Yeah, in the end for me, like it's hard to go past a Zelda announcement, but
Well, yeah.
probably for me in the end, and it's not Naughty Dog. It was actually God of War 3 because
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
that was huge.
Was he
And
climbing
was
a Titan? Was
that was the very first trailer. He was just standing there, like it kind of started way out in the distance, and he was just standing up on top of a building, just kind of
hulking out.
hulking out a bit. And you had Zeus just talking about how he's gone and destroyed all this, and you know, in the end there'll be only chaos, and just kind of panting with his eyes. Right, it's like super intense at the very end. There was no gameplay. There was hardly any movement in the trailer. But it just dripped like this epic sort of thing.
It's coming.
It's like, this is going to be massive because God of War 2 is probably in the end the best reviewed game on the PS2. So, certainly one of.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm looking forward to Recall since you mentioned that.
Yeah.
That was a great trailer last year.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool things this year as well, and we'll talk about that in the next part. So you might actually wind this one down here.
Yep, that's fine.
There's been some awesome stuff in E3 in the past. I'm sure there'll be plenty more this year. And we'll talk about what we expect in the very next part. So thank you again for your time. See you later.
Peace out.